What's up, everybody? Here I am, Steve from Flite Brothers, checking out the all-new Foxeer Legend 2 HD camera. I'm going to go ahead and get this opened up and we can take a look what's in there. And as I'm doing that, I do want to thank Foxeer for sending it out to Flite Brothers here so that we can check it out. And also, it's going to wind up being a great tool for getting some more footage for our YouTube channel. So it's really a win-win, and we really appreciate Foxeer sending it out to us to check out. So comes in this great white box, nice and protective. Inside we've got just a quick card to show what the functions of the camera are. We have LED 1, LED 2, LED 3, all that stuff you can read, I'm sure. Also tells you what the LEDs do. So it's pretty standard 2-button power mode, shutter, Wi-Fi button, the different LEDs, and it appears this does have a Wi-Fi feature, which is excellent. Definitely something that I really wish the Foxeer Legend 1 had, and so I'm glad to see that added to this one, and we'll take a look at that app in a little bit. Okay, right here, of course, one of the first things you see is the camera, and I'm having trouble getting it out. Let's see if we can go this route. There we go. I'm gonna pop this out of here. If you're familiar with the Legend 1, the Legend 1, which I have that here, had this kind of nice, kind of rubbery, grippy kind of finish to it, and this Legend 2 has the exact same kind of finish. It's got that texture, kind of rubbery, matte black finish to it. And as far as the size goes, very similar, but actually the Legend 2 appears to be just a little bit smaller, which is kind of cool. It's not quite as long. It is just a little bit fatter, not by much. You can see just a little bit wider and not as long, which is cool, with even more features involved, which is pretty neat. You can see on the back that they've gone to a micro USB instead of a mini USB. We still have the HDMI out as well, the micro HDMI out, which is pretty nice. And the card slot for the micro SD on the side, just like the Legend 1. Now, I really would have loved to see them kind of follow suit with RunCam and put the micro SD card behind a sliding locking door or something like that. Believe it or not, it doesn't happen often, but Rich had one of these come flying out on a crash. If, you know, you get cartwheeling and your quad's flying around like this, you're going to get a lot of G-force pulling that out. And it did happen to him, and we lost some footage from that. So it can still happen on these. You might want to consider, if you do use these, putting a strap or a piece of tape or something over that to make sure it doesn't happen. Although it's certainly not as prevalent as it was with the Mobius. So let's go ahead and look at what accessories come with this as well. Got everything in this little box that was in there as well. We got some cables. Oh, that's kind of a nice. Is that like a clip-on lens cap of some sort? Oh, okay. It's a nice lens cap that just snaps on there. That's kind of nice. There's a protective cover on the lens that I'm not going to peel off quite yet. Have okay, so your standard threaded mount, if you're going to use this for a camera tripod. It looks like it snaps right in there. And this is your mount that it comes with. This is actually a really heavy-duty solid mount. You can see how thick the material is there. Seems like it'd really hold up well, and that is really nice and secure and snug in there. Slide it out. So that's kind of nice. It looks like these little bumps here, if you can see those little bumps, lock right into these indents on the camera to help keep it in place, which is cool. And there's no way that can obstruct the vision by any means. Let's see what else we got here. This is a looks like a standard power and video out cable. So this is the micro SD that would plug right here into the back, and then that has a video out and a power in if you're going to use this for FPV with a live video feed. I'm unsure what the latency is like. I still wouldn't trust any HD camera for my live FPV feed if I'm flying anything fast like a racing quad or freestyle flying. But for planes and things like that, the technology's come pretty far where the latency is really not that much of an issue if you're doing some casual FPV flying on a big wing or a plane of some sort. So certainly possible, and this cable makes that really easy to do. It also appears to have a micro SD to USB cable. It's really short. It looks like it's only about 6 inches long if I unwrap that. So not incredibly useful, but hey, they include it, which is nice. And it looks like we've got some straps to help keep it on a frame if you're going to be sliding it into a frame. What do we have here? We've got a couple of nice Foxeer Velcro straps with a nice rubberized coating inside. I imagine if you're going to strap this onto something, these straps would work really well to hold it on there. And some 3M sticky Velcro if you're going to use Velcro to mount it onto something as well. It's nice to include those couple of little added accessories to make sure that you have what you need in order to do that. The one thing I'm not seeing in here at all is any kind of manual or instructions, anything like that on how to use it. So that's something I'm going to have to work out and figure out. But before I can do that, I'm going to have to go ahead and charge it. So this is the camera so far. I'm going to get it charged up. I'm going to try and figure out how to use some of the features like connecting to the Wi-Fi and things like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some flight footage too. I think I'm going to mount this on my old ZMR 250 that I haven't flown in like a year and a half, just to get a little bit of in-air footage with it and see what it's like. So I'll be back with that in a bit. All right, so I've had a chance to play around with this a little bit and discover some of the features and get a hold of the app on my phone. So I'm going to go ahead and show you those things real quick now that I've had a chance to do that. First of all, turning the camera on. I got a little worried because I updated the firmware. I found some updated firmware online from a friend of mine, and I got it installed by loading it onto the card and putting the card in, turning it on. I went through a bunch of lights and flashing, and then once it stopped flashing, I was able to turn it off, or able to pull the card, delete the files, and get going. When I tried to turn it on, you see what happens. I was used to the Legend 1, which of course the Legend 1, if you just press the button, it turns on, right? And I was very used to that, and that's what I was expecting. But as it turns out, with the Legend 2, they made a change because it was so easy for these to accidentally turn on. They decided to make it a little harder to turn on by having to press and hold the power button for a length of time. It seems like a long time, but I'm glad they went this way because I've had that happen to me before. Seems almost 4 or 5 seconds you have to hold it. It goes through a couple beeps, and unfortunately it starts recording right away. And so now that it's recording right away, I'm going to go ahead and stop it from recording. I haven't figured out how to stop that feature yet. So if I do, I'll let you know. But even turning it off in the app, it didn't seem to do anything. So basically, the operation is the same from there. You have your modes, video and picture mode. Back to video mode. You have your start stop using the camera button. And so it's pretty basic, same kind of modes if you're used to using the Legend 1. But we also have this Wi-Fi feature. So to activate the Wi-Fi on the camera, you actually have to press and hold the shutter button. It'll beep once and then you wait and then bam, it turns green. And it flashes. That means it's ready to connect to your phone. So I'm going to go ahead and get the app brought up on my phone and show you that and how it works as well. So here's the app from Foxeer that's quite simple to use. And this is what happens the very first time you go to use it. Now, the camera is currently turned off. And this is the first time I've opened the app. I'm going to hit this. It's going to run us through a very simple tutorial. Legend 2, hit connect camera. Turn on the camera. Going to do that first. And remember, it starts recording, so I'm going to stop it from recording and hit next on the phone. Connect Wi-Fi. Turn on system Wi-Fi to search, then select the camera to connect. Default password 12345678. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Says to turn on the Wi-Fi by holding the shutter button like I showed you before. The light is now blinking green. I'm going to hit next, and I'm going to hit connect, and it brought me back to this one, so I'm going to hit it again, connect. Now the Wi-Fi has not connected yet, so I'm going to go down and choose Wi-Fi networks available, choose Foxeer Cam, put in the password 12345678, and hit connect. It is now connected. I can go ahead and hit back, and it should momentarily bring up the image from the camera on the app. Alright, and there it is. It brings the image right up. You can see my workbench. Turn around, and it's a nice clear image right on your screen that you can see. And let's look at the other features before we view a little more of that. We have a record button, which is going to start and stop the camera from recording right from your phone. I press that. I can see on the camera itself that the LEDs are flashing and can tell that it's actually recording a video. And I can stop it as well. I can go ahead and hit this camera button on the bottom to choose some different modes for shooting. I can choose the little stack of papers icon on the bottom left to see if there's any images, and there's all the different videos that I've taken with the phone so far, so they're all showing up there. I could go ahead and delete those and move things around if I wanted to also. Let's go back to the camera. I also can go ahead and change all sorts of settings if I'd like. If I click on the top button there, the settings button, I can choose the different resolutions all the way up to Ultra HD, QHD, 2K, 1080p 60, 1080p 30, and so on. You can read them there yourselves. I'm going to hit back. You can see all the different settings that you can change. Field of view, quality, the looping, if you want to stamp on and off, mic volume, advanced settings, ISO limit, white balance, color, sharpness, all of those things right there for you to screw around with if you'd like to adjust those. Photo settings as well, including advanced settings, and other camera settings that you can change to make things as nice as you want, or adjust all those settings to suit your needs. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like if I just walk this outside on the camera. I'm going to go right up out my walkout here. You can. Oh, that was loud. See some changes in light. I went outside, and you can see a very nice, clear picture coming through here. So those are most of the features of the app. I'm sure there's some things that you can discover on your own by playing around with it. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted onto my 250, which I haven't flown in a while, but it's the easiest one for me to just throw this on. I'm going to fly it around a little bit so you can get some flight footage from it. Let's give that a shot.